We're so happy to have everyone home for the holidays. Your dad has been cooking all day.
Butter braids, bacon wrap with my famous apple sage stuffing. Who wants one?
None for me, honey. I'm on a diet.
And did you say butter braids? Because I'm dairy-free.
I'm lactose intolerant.
I'm gluten-free. No stuffing for me, honey. I'm off carbs. I don't eat meat anymore, except for fish and chicken, just not turkey.
Is that free range?
Did it die of natural causes?
Was it an assisted suicide? Because that is the most morally delicious.
Nothing for her. She's just difficult.
Dig in.
Welcome, everybody, to Week in Review. This is our final episode for 2021, and there's some surprises here, so stay with me today. We got some, I think, some very exciting things to take a look at. I want to say right at the outset that I'm making a request for your prayer support. On December the 23rd, I'm going to be required to have some hip surgery. I've been in ministry, many of you know, for about 50 years and a lot of travel and all that time. So I got Dr. Luke. He's a Christian man. He's going to help me out a little bit. So I'm going to unplug for a while. Now, I have a little surprise for you today, and I want to introduce to you somebody that is going to add my Merry Christmas. And I say it, Merry Christmas to you and your family. And I trust this is going to be the best New Year you've ever had. But my wife's going to share something. There'll be a kind of a takeoff point for what I'll share with you on Week in Review today. So give a listen.
Hey there, and Merry Christmas, everybody. I just wanted to say it was 50 years ago when I was born again, and that was the first Christmas that I can remember feeling a joy inside because I really knew what it was all about, because I knew the one that came to die on the cross for my sins. And Christmases have never been the same since then. And I'm especially grateful for the one person that took the time to share the gospel with my mother and my dad, and then eventually the rest of our family came to know the Lord, and that was Norma Aites. And she shared the true gospel that Jesus Christ came to die on the cross in our place, and that we couldn't earn salvation like we'd all been doing a very good job of trying to do for decades. And we were a very religious family, and I ended up in college rebelling, and my parents sent me away from the home because of the bad influence I was with my brothers and sisters. But then, because of one person sharing the true gospel with my parents, and my parents responded and made Jesus the Lord of their lives, I saw the change in them. And then I read a book by Nicky Cruz where it was his personal testimony of how Jesus changed his life. And as I read that book, me, the atheist, reading the book, God spoke to my heart and said, that's what you need. So it was through the power of testimony that our whole family's lives were transformed. All 7 of us kids who were living at home at the time, and many went into full-time ministry. And I'm thrilled that at that same time, I met Larry, and he was writing his book, Clap Your Hands, which ended up transforming multitudes of people's lives by revealing the gospel of Jesus to them. And my own uncle, my mother sent the book to him, and he heard the gospel and responded and made Jesus the Lord of his life. So we're thrilled because now 50 years later, Larry has redone Clap Your Hands, but it's in an audiobook. And it's even easier to share with people now. We used to have boxes of them in our car and give them out to people the Lord would lead us to. But now it's all the easier by just, well, Larry will explain how to get it for free. So anyway, I'm grateful to Jesus, and Merry Christmas. God bless you.
Isn't it amazing how God allows us and gives us the opportunity to share the gospel? And he tells us in his word that we're ambassadors for Jesus Christ. God makes his appeal through us. And today there's so much darkness and confusion in this world. Recently, Brian Williams, who has been the anchor on NBC and a real major media figure, almost at 30 years said, I'm calling it quits. I'm going to show you a clip Imagine this and listen to what he's saying. It's because there's so much darkness. He says, America, it's become unrecognizable. It's almost like he's in despair. He needs the gospel. But listen what he says now. This is his commentary on our culture today and why he's checking out.
I'll try to keep this brief. After 28 years of peacock logos on much of what I own, it is my choice now to jump without a net into the great unknown, as I do for the first time in my 62 years. My biggest worry is for my country. The truth is, I'm not a liberal or a conservative. I'm an institutionalist. I believe in this place, and in my love of country, I yield to no one. But the darkness on the edge of town has spread to the main roads and highways and neighborhoods. It's now at the local bar and the bowling alley, at the school board and the grocery store. And it must be acknowledged and answered for. Grown men and women who swore an oath to our Constitution, elected by their constituents, possessing the kinds of college degrees I could only dream of, have decided to join the mob and become something they are not, while hoping we somehow forget who they were. They've decided to burn it all down with us inside.
If I had the opportunity, I would love to talk with Brian. But you know what? God sets up divine appointments for all of us. And you've known me, and as you've listened to me over the years, for 50 years, I've tried to inspire and equip people to take advantage of opportunities to build relationships with people. Lifestyle evangelism is natural. It's relational. And you know what? It's enjoyable. And it's not like taking medicine. And we're living in a dark period of history. Ephesians chapter 6 tells us, it says in this kind of a time, it's called the evil day. It says we're to take up the whole armor of God that we can stand in the evil day. But amidst the darkness that Brian Williams is citing here and that scripture warns us about, Jesus said, when you see certain things, look up, your redemption draws nigh. And you know what? We're in a time where Isaiah 60 tells us darkness is going to cover the earth, deep darkness, the people. That's now, just as it was in the time of Jesus. But you know what? Amidst the escalating darkness, there is escalating light upon the people of God. That's us in this hour. You know, it goes on, it says, rise, shine, your light will come. The glory of the Lord will be upon you. The nations will come to your light. Yes. And kings, leaders are going to come to your light. And so we want to shine that light. And I want to ask you to join with me. Years ago, I wrote the book, Clap Your Hands. I never intended to write the book. I was just kind of apprehended by the Lord. I didn't even know how to go about it. Imagine, I was 20 years old, but get this. When I obeyed God and took up the challenge and I just wrote my story, here I was, a young guy trying to do the right thing, raised in a religious home. Then I get into the teen years and I get into the lost souls. And that's what this book told, the story, my journey, my odyssey. And then how in heaven's name people reached out to me. And because of it, for 5 decades, I've been sharing the good news. And there is a book, it's called Clap Your Hands, that has reached over 250,000 people now all over the world. And that's just those that got it. Imagine how many other hundreds of thousands of people read it. People shared the gospel through it. And recently, Bob Weiner, my buddy for 40-some years, challenged me. He said, Larry, you're doing a 50th anniversary edition, and you're going to make this available to everybody. He said, do it for free. And I said, well, it's going to cost something. I got to get this done and go in the studio and travel and blah, 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 blah. He said, give it away. God will bless. Well, that's what I'm doing. And I want to tell you, go to LarryTomczak.com, LarryTomczak.com, and you'll see what to do. There's no trick. There's no gimmick. You can get it free. It's a gift. It's, you know, right now it's Merry Christmas. People are saying, yeah, I'm getting my Christmas stuff now. We're going to get my Christmas. Well, here's a gift for you. It's the audiobook of Clap Your Hands. Free. You don't have to do anything. Just click on. But would you do me a favor? Would you do something yourself a favor? Those people you love in your family, relatives, colleagues, fellow students, people in your neighborhood, send it to them as a gift. They don't have to do anything. They're not going to be brought into anything or put on a list. And all you got to do is you'll see it on the website. What you do, you click on, you say, Larry, is there any limit? No. 10, 20, 50 people. Let's do, as you heard my wife, somebody shared with her mom, somebody shared with her, somebody shared with me. And I have been transformed by the gospel, which is the power of God unto salvation. Now here's what Bob Weiner told us to do. He said, number one, you pray. Jesus said, pray the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers. So you're a laborer with me. So you pray. And you pray, God, who do I send this to? And then put down, make a list. Can you take 10 to reach 10? How's that for a little slogan? Take 10 to reach 10. Write out 10 names if you want to reach 20, 30, and send it to them. And don't send it in a religious way saying, here is a book telling about the sovereign grace of God amidst the reprobation and the darkness. No, you share and just say, hey, here's an enjoyable story of somebody, changed people's lives all over the globe. I want to give it to you as a gift. It's entertaining, it's inspirational, and I give God all the glory. You know, I end this by saying not only, again, Merry Christmas to you, but may this be the best new year you've ever had. And let's seize the opportunity. Will you do it? Let's be co-laborers together. For years, I've carried something, and it's the statement. Here it is. Look at this. This is just a little statement. I've had it in my wallet, and it's the words that a man named Henry Varley, 150 some years ago, said to a tremendous evangelist, D.L. Moody. You know what? D.L. Moody was a discouraged man, didn't think he was making much impact. And Henry Varley sat down with him and he said, D.L., Dwight was his name, the world has not yet seen what God will do with and for and in and by the man whose heart is fully blameless and submitted to him. And you know what D.L. Moody said? I'll be that man. How about you say, I'll be that woman. I'll be that man. Let's be his ambassadors. Let's get the word of God out, and may we see multitudes come to know the Son of God, Jesus Christ, our Messiah. Merry Christmas.